Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story, Ciara's abusers escaped conviction for almost a decade after her evidence video was lost by Lancashire police.
I felt like I wasn't a priority, like I wasn't believed, like they didn't care because I was just a child.
It's just one of hundreds of instances across the country that the BBC has uncovered. Also tonight, testing the water, the rapid new kit which records whether our seawater is clean. The campaign for UNESCO World Heritage status for Marple's historic locks and waterways. Saving it for the community, plans to give Liverpool's oldest single-screen cinema a new lease of life.
Everyone would just be drawn to the cinema to see the new films. And it's changed now. But I think this building and the way it sits in people's hearts can be that magnet again.
And after a very mixed week of weather, join me at the end of the programme for the all-important weekend weather forecast.
When Ciara was a child, she went through the harrowing process of telling the police about the sexual abuse that she'd been subjected to for years. But the prosecution against her abusers collapsed because Lancashire police lost the video of her interview. It's just one of hundreds of instances across the country that the BBC's uncovered where prosecutions have collapsed due to lost or missing evidence. And it's a problem that appears to be getting worse, as Phil McCann reports.
Ciara's childhood was taken from her by sexual abuse that she'd suffered from the age of 5. At 9, she gave a filmed interview to Lancashire police and was due to go to court, but then...
I was going into the court trial in 2015 and that's when I found out they lost all my evidence.
Officers had lost the disc that contained the video interview Ciara had given. Her case collapsed. She didn't feel that she could do another one.
It was really hard because then they wanted me to go through it all again and I thought, you want me to do this all again? I'm just a child. Like I had to grow up way quicker than I needed to.
Lancashire Police has apologised. The force says it's since introduced new processes to prevent similar issues happening again. She did get justice, but it took until last year when her abusers were finally jailed.
I just wanted to put it behind me, but I started to really struggle. So then I went back to my mum and said I do want to do it, and that was only later on.
What happened to Ciara has happened to many others. In Lancashire, 308 cases, just under 1.5% of all prosecutions, collapsed because of lost or missing evidence over the 2 years up to last September. It was the same proportion in Cheshire and Greater Manchester. In Derbyshire, it was over 2%. In Greater Manchester, 13 of those collapsed cases related to sexual offences. It was 9 in Lancashire and in Merseyside. Rape and sexual assault charities know the impact that can have.
How can anyone feel safe in a world where something like that has happened to them and then there's no outcome or justice for them?
Gathering evidence for prosecutions like this County Lines drugs raid on Merseyside is obviously complex, and digital evidence is making things more complex. These figures include evidence that's needed for prosecutions, but which was never gathered in the first place. But in the past, evidence gathered by teams like these forensics officers could be sent to a government body called the Forensic Science Service, which had specialist storage. But it was closed in 2012, and since then it's claimed some forces haven't stored all their evidence properly.
Greater Manchester Police are liars.
When Andrew Malkinson wanted clothing retested to overturn his conviction for raping a woman in Salford over 20 years ago, Greater Manchester Police no longer had it. But it was found in the archives of the Forensic Science Service. Because of that, he was cleared. That same archive was also crucial last month in overturning the conviction of Peter Sullivan for murdering Diane Sindel in Birkenhead in the 80s. But of course for some, missing evidence means they never get justice at all.
It's really heartbreaking because I am one that has finally got justice, but a lot of people don't.
Phil McCann, BBC North West Tonight.
Next this evening, we've done a lot on the programme about water quality at Lancashire's beaches. Soon it'll be the holiday season and Blackpool will welcome millions of visitors, with many looking to take a dip. But is it safe? Well, now a faster method of testing the sea for sewage and other pollutants has been demonstrated by one of the resort's MPs. It's claimed the new technology can tell bathers in just 15 minutes about what's in the water. Phil Cunliffe reports.
Since being elected, MP Chris Webb has made cleaning up the sea in Blackpool his priority. He says last year there were more than 150 pollution incidents along the Fylde coast. Taking a sample of water, he's been taking part in a live demonstration to show how quicker water testing can help safeguard the public's health as well as protecting tourism.
We've seen it from photos going back hundreds of years. We know people come here to enjoy our coastline, our fantastic attractions. The council and others have worked really hard to get our beach clean and tidy for residents. It's just won awards, but then we've got our waters letting us down, so we need to clean them up and hold the water companies to account.
So squeeze the bulb gently, nearly all the way, and what you want to do is draw it up, and it wants to only sort of half fill this bit.
Colin is in charge of the demo. An inventor and engineer, his company is working with water companies to provide testing results in real time.
Currently, the tests that are done by sending samples off to a lab take, at a very minimum, 24 hours to get a result. This gives you a result in 15 minutes, so you can make a decision about whether you feel safe to go in the water based on what the water is now like, not what it was like yesterday. So, 13 minutes is up and we've got a result. And you can see from the green LED that that's low risk.
Giving his thumbs up to the new technology is the Lancashire athlete Adam Diver. He's best known as the first person to swim from England to the Isle of Man.
This is really good news, this test. And if we can get results from the sea and rivers within 15, 20 minutes, this is gonna benefit people like myself who do open water swimming. Then you've got people like dog walkers, maybe, and all the children that play on the beach.
The Environment Agency, which publishes water test results, says there's always a place for science and innovation when raising awareness of water quality. But they told us that they would continue to rely on our established monitoring methods, which are robust and consistent across the country. Back in Blackpool, it's hoped the quicker testing can be rolled out soon.
Once you've got that information, though, how practicable is it to impart that information to the general public?
We'd like to see, maybe the local council doing those tests and making that information available on a 4-hourly, 8-hourly basis.
Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Blackpool.
Now, staying with water quality, and the government has banned bosses at United Utilities from receiving bonuses after the company failed to meet environmental and consumer standards. The extra money already awarded to senior executives may have to be paid back because the new rules are backdated to last April.
Well, they shouldn't get paid until they're doing the job right. We have to do our job right, so if we don't get paid, so why should they get paid?
It's not the greatest of ideas to people who look after our water to then stop giving them the bonus, to give them that less incentive to make it safer for people.
In other news, a driver who struck a pregnant woman has pleaded guilty to causing the death of her unborn baby by dangerous driving. 20-year-old Ashir Shahid from Walton-le-Dale also admitted causing serious injury to the mother after hitting her while she was using a pedestrian crossing in Bamber-Bridge. Campaigners who are trying to save an inpatient unit at a hospice in Liverpool say they're still waiting for answers almost a year after it was closed. The 26-bed inpatient unit at Marie Curie in Woolton was closed last July due to a shortage of specialised nurses. But at a public meeting last night, supporters asked for clarity over the hospice's future.
We would like to help so the wards are back open, so people have a place to come and have a death that they absolutely deserve to have.
So the best outcome for us would be for the wards to be reopened and for them to be serving the people who actually need it now.
Marple locks in Stockport have been helping boats navigate the canal system for more than 200 years, an enduring example of engineering excellence and a reminder of the region's role in the Industrial Revolution. And now there's a growing campaign for one section to become a World Heritage Site. Kevin Fitzpatrick reports.
Marple's canals, they were ambitious and visionary when they were opened in the late 18th century. Home to parts of the Peak Forest and Macclesfield canals, a flight of locks stretch uphill for a mile, and its intricate design and clever stonework has stood the test of time.
So this is called a rowing bridge, unique in the country, very clever innovation. The site itself is absolutely key to the start of the Industrial Revolution and how industry suddenly developed in what were quite remote areas at the time. Massive hill to overcome at this point, so 16 locks are created, great engineering feat, and when you get to the bottom of the locks, a huge aqueduct.
It is amazing. Giving it heritage status would be, it'd be fab.
I really enjoy it. It's really kept very well. It's a beautiful location.
It's a beautiful thing. We need to preserve it. Yeah.
Especially the locks. The history of the locks is massively important, isn't it, really?
There are already 7 heritage sites connected to the canal network in this area, and at Warner Community Project is underway which hopes to tie them all together.
This is a perfect place and this is a perfect building. It'll be the centre of the heritage in Marple, and particularly if we manage to attain World Heritage status, then this will be a base for people to come and start their heritage experience.
The local MP is backing the campaign and thinks it could have important benefits.
They're such a rich part of our industrial heritage, and what World Heritage Site status would bring is some protection, it'd bring investment, and it'd just make it even more well known to tourists who want to come here, who want to understand how the canals helped shape our industrial heritage.
The next applications for World Heritage status won't be heard until 2033. In the meantime, those behind the bid say they'll build the case to highlight this canal's outstanding features and historical significance. Kevin Fitzpatrick, BBC North West Tonight, Marple.
And we will have more on that story. And we'll be looking ahead to the government's spending review next week. That's with me on Politics North West, Sunday morning from 10 o'clock on BBC One. And you can catch up later on iPlayer. Now, one of Manchester city centre's busiest roads will close over the weekend to allow for annual maintenance. Sections of the A57 and the A635 roads, known as the Mancunian Way, will be shut between 5 a.m. on Saturday morning and 7 p.m. on Sunday to allow essential inspections and repair work. A shop in Rochdale has been ordered to temporarily close after illegal products, including vapes and counterfeit tobacco, were found under a toilet. They were discovered inside Drake Street food store, also known as Polsky Skelp, during an undercover visit by Rochdale Council. An emergency appeal fund set up to help those injured during the incident at Liverpool's Victory Parade has now raised more than £100,000. The Liverpool Spirit Appeal officially reached the mark after a £50,000 donation from the Liverpool Football Club Foundation and Forever Reds. Right, let's get some more stories which are being read online in the North West today. A woman has been reunited with a lost teddy that was a reminder of her friend who died in the Manchester Arena bombing. That story by Lynette Horsburgh. Tens of thousands of visitors are expected in Cumbria to attend the world-famous Appleby Horse Fair, which runs until Wednesday. And the story of the young Bruce Springsteen fan who played a harmonica duet with the star during his gig at Anfield. Find out more at bbc.co.uk/local news, or it is on the BBC News app. Now, in its heyday, the Woolton Picture House in Liverpool would draw 800 people to watch the latest films. It was built in 1927 and is the city's oldest cinema, but it's been shut since the pandemic. Well, the team which runs the Royal Court Theatre now want to buy it for the local community, but they're in a race against time to raise the money. Lindsay Prosser reports.
Week in, week out, people came here to see their favourite film stars. 800 would be crammed into Liverpool's oldest single-screen cinema.
I think they came here to keep warm because that's a lot of people in the building.
There's so much history here. I mean, it's nearly 100 years old.
The Picture House is in the process of being bought for the local community by a couple who run Liverpool's Royal Court Theatre.
One night I was walking with my wife, we were walking past, and it was just one of those nights, and we stood opposite the cinema. I thought, yeah, we should do something about this.
It's vital in these times, isn't it? People have lost that personal connection, and venues like these can bring that back. So whether you're going for a knitting club or a social with your friends, or you're going to a sing-along film, there's so many different things that can happen here, and that's what we want to talk to the local community about. You know, what do you want?
Those who remember coming here are delighted at the prospect of the Picture House opening its doors once more.
It's well better. And it was really cheap.
It was really cheap. It wasn't like you needed a fortune to go and see a film.
They had the ice cream at the front, didn't they? And you'd walk down and be in the queue and deciding what ice cream you'd want. Just different, wasn't it? Unique, really.
When we were younger, we had the interval at half-time, where they used to bring out the ice creams and the drinks and things like that.
Woolton was famous for its interval. So at any point in any film, and usually at the most important point of the film, it would stop. And then the lights would come up in the auditorium, and then the ice cream lady would come out, and everyone would just like go to the toilet, go to the bar, get their ice creams, and then they'd go back a couple of frames and start again.
Many of the original features are still here, including the usherette seat, which is surprisingly comfortable. There's a lot of work to do here, but already there have been many offers of help.
I remember going with my dad to see Thunderball and Dr. No and bumping into neighbours on the way to the cinema, and everyone would just be drawn to the cinema to see the new films. And it's changed now, but I think this building and the way it sits in people's hearts can be that magnet again.
Kevin and Jill have paid a deposit for the picture house and have a year to raise the rest of the funds. Lindsay Prosser, BBC North West Tonight, Woolton.
Yeah, it's a lovely old building. I used to love it when they brought ice cream during the intervals. I don't suppose you even remember that, do you, Ian?
Yeah,
ice cream during the intervals at cinemas?
I think so. My first film I went watching was Teen Wolf back in '85.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
one of my favourites. Anyway, I suppose we should talk about sport.
We should.
We probably should. Warrington have their sights on rugby league silverware, but Sale Sharks looking for targeting Twickenham.
Yeah, the Allianz Stadium, Twickenham, Annabelle. Sale booked their place in the playoffs last weekend and go to Leicester with the place in the Premiership final at stake. Sharks last won the title nearly 2 decades ago and were runners-up in 2023, while in Rugby League, Warrington are looking for a 10th Challenge Cup win. The Wolves take on current Super League leaders Hull KR at Wembley tomorrow.
Warrington Wolves last won the Challenge Cup in 2019. The homecoming parade was a sight to behold as supporters turned out in force to celebrate.
So then what a moment for these Warrington Wolves players and coaches on that bus, and what a moment for all these fans. We were told there'd be around 10,000 here on the green outside the town hall. Look at that, it feels like half the town's out there.
And 6 years on, they might get to do it all over again, with the Wolves Wembley bound after last month's semi-final win over Lee Leopards.
The Warrington fans are always fantastic travellers. You know, the supporters through thick and thin, and they've been, you know, ever since I've been at the club, they've been nothing short of amazing. I'm sure it's going to be no different down at Wembley again on Saturday, and obviously it's a great day for them.
It wasn't a great day for the Warrington faithful at the 2024 final with defeat to Wigan Warriors, but could that become a blessing in disguise?
It was a bit disappointing last year. I think probably let the occasion get to us, and we probably lost the game in the first half. It took us 40 minutes to really get in our groove last year, and the boys will learn from that experience. And now it's just another game of rugby league, and you know, Challenge Cup's a good moment to get our season back on track, but also to lift some silverware.
Simple as you like.
Also looking for silverware in the Women's Challenge Cup final are Wigan Warriors, seen here beating Leeds in the semis, and holders St Helens, who reached their 5th consecutive final with victory over York. In Rugby Union, Sale Sharks go to Leicester Tigers for their Premiership playoff semi-final.
Well, Sale Sharks haven't won a Premiership title since 2006, but these players know they're just 1 win away from the final at Twickenham and 2 wins away from relative immortality.
Like the 2006 side.
He's going for much more than that.
We literally just moved up to Manchester when Sale won that, so when we were growing up. So for me, that made me want to play for Sale. So to have that ability to kind of do that for someone else is huge, isn't it? I think we had a 25-year anniversary of Sale Sharks, and Chabal and all those guys were there, and Philip Santandre, and they kept reminding us of how long it's been. So yeah, there's not just pressure from within, but pressure from those lads as well, which is nice.
And as the director of rugby has implied, they've got a score to settle with Leicester after losing there recently.
I saw the interview with Alex Sanderson after the game the other day. He was asked about that, you know, getting one up on them now and picking up on what you learned from the last game with them as much as anything.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? I think obviously it's nice playing in the regular season, but I think there are always the nerves and the emotion that's associated. I think both with a semi-final, it's probably a unique position that we only played 3 weeks ago, but I think obviously we're going to take lessons, but so are they. Bit of a cliche, but whoever deals with the occasion best is obviously going to come out on top.
Well, the Women's Challenge Cup final is live on BBC Two tomorrow morning. Coverage starts at 11:15, with coverage of the men's final on BBC One from 2 o'clock. Well, there are no confirmed football transfer deals yet today, but it seems Manchester City are close to signing the Wolves left-back Rayan Ait-Nouri. Brentford reportedly want more money from Manchester United for this man, the forward Brian Mbeumo, following a bid of £45 million plus £10 million in add-ons. Meanwhile, as confirmed last night, Luis Diaz is staying at Liverpool after the club rejected Barcelona's approach. Well, racing resumed today on the Isle of Man at the TT races after yesterday's rest day. Dean Harrison won this afternoon's Superstock race for his second TT win of the week. Today's the penultimate day of racing on the 37.7-mile course, and once again, thousands of locals and visitors have been soaking up the unique atmosphere.
There's nowhere else in the world that has a bike race like this, you know, so yeah, love it, absolutely love it.
We love it. Yeah, live for bikes.
No, I've been watching it since I was 9, so, you know, it's part of your blood.
The whole atmosphere of being at the TT is just brilliant.
I'll be honest, I love it. I filmed there a few years ago, absolutely superb. It's a T20 Blast double-header at Emirates Old Trafford this weekend. Lancashire Thunder host Surrey Women tomorrow afternoon, while on Sunday, league leaders Lancashire Lightning play Northamptonshire Steelbacks, having lost for the first time in midweek at home to Leicestershire Foxes. Sunday is also the club's T20 Family Festival, so it should be a great day all round. And it's been confirmed that Manchester United and England legend David Beckham, there he is, will get a knighthood next week as part of King Charles' birthday honours. Here he is in his United days. Apparently he's being knighted for his impressive career and charity work, and possibly his hunkiness too, Annabelle. This is him with the King here. So he'll be a Sir, and Posh Spice there will become Lady Beckham.
Well, you know, it's some people would say maybe it's about time. I mean, 115 caps for his country.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good work for charity as well.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
there you go.
Great. Thank you very much. Actually, you're not going anywhere, are you?
No,
you're staying exactly where you are, because hundreds of thousands of Muslims across the northwest are celebrating Eid. It's regarded as one of the holiest times in the Islamic calendar, as it coincides with Hajj, the religious pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia.
Well, back home, thousands of people were at Manchester's Plattfields Park this morning for prayers, although the poor weather meant worshippers were inside. 3 days of Eid celebrations have started across the region. This is an opportunity for family and friends to get together, as Matt Truern has been finding out with one family in Blackburn.
For us, it's a huge day because a couple of years ago we lost my sister. So for us, Eid is all about trying to make the most of the time with the families, making memories.
Saima and her extended family are here together for a special Eid brunch, and her mum and dad have already been busy in the kitchen.
My parents are really good cooks, and they've been cooking since last night for us, and they've prepared a lot of traditional dishes. Roast chicken is my dad's expertise, and he's brilliant at it, and it's a real one that we have at all the Asian Pakistani weddings. There's carrot halwa, which is another traditional one at kind of Pakistani weddings, and then we've got some ras malai, very, very popular dessert. You'll find a lot of sweets are coming onto this table.
The food's important, but family is at the centre of celebrations.
I'm at university, so when I come back, it's really exciting just to be around everyone. And we're quite lucky here because we all live on the same street, so we get to see each other quite often. But Eid is special because you get to dress up.
Eid ul-Adha, or Feast of the Sacrifice, is celebrated over 3 days, a time for prayer, reflection and bringing families together.
So Muskan, you don't mind me talking to you while you're eating, do you?
No, I don't mind.
No. So tell me what Eid means to you then.
For me, Eid means to spend time with your family and appreciate all the blessings and gifts Allah has given you. Last year I saved £60, and then this year my auntie and everyone in the family is giving me lots. So this year I've got 150, and I'm excited to get more money today.
So money, food, family and a day off school.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Like any holiday celebrations, Eid is also about traditions, and here that means family photos in the garden.
We'll let you off with that one.
Matt Truern, BBC North West Tonight in Blackburn.
Yeah, indeed. If you are celebrating, have a wonderful time. Right, I don't know what the weather's going to be like for you. Well, I do, actually, because we've just had a little discussion about it. And it's looking a bit mixed, isn't it?
I know. Your little sad face when I told you the forecast for the weekend. Spoiler alert, it is not looking particularly brilliant. For our first full weekend of meteorological summer, it's just the mixed sort of theme continuing. And, you know, it's been a mix of sunshine and showers. Sunshine 1 minute, hefty, quite terrifying looking skies the next. If you do take a weather photo, though, if you are out and about at some point over the weekend and would like to send it in to us at North West Tonight, you can do that directly on social media, or you can become one of our BBC Weather Watchers. There will be some chunks of usable weather, shall we say, this weekend. Sunday in particular is looking like the drier day of the two. Showery on Saturday, though, and some of those showers are going to be quite heavy. We've got this little weather front moving through in off the Atlantic overnight tonight, so we'll start the day tomorrow with outbreaks of showery rain, but that will, I think, break up and turn a little bit more fragmented as we head through to the afternoon. So teasing you with a largely dry evening and then clouding over overnight tonight with this band of showery rain making its way in from the west, quite heavy at times, as you can see on the graphics where we see the greens. That indicates some heavier pulses. Temperatures overnight dropping down to around 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. So as we start the day tomorrow, there will be a lot of cloud. We'll see the remnants of that overnight showery rain gradually breaking up and indeed turning more showery. So I think the showers through the course of the afternoon will be a bit better scattered. There'll be some brighter spells developing, but I think on the whole, we will see a lot of cloud with our temperatures about 13 or 14 degrees Celsius, which is a little bit down on the seasonal average for this time of year. But just wait until we get to next week. In fact, the middle part of the week, I think we'll see 20, maybe 21 degrees. So temperatures gradually recovering as we head through to the start of next week. But yes, for the weekend, a little bit down on where they should typically be for this time of year. This is how Sunday is looking, the better day, the drier day of the two, should I say. Still the risk of 1 or 2 showers, and a couple could be on the heavy side, but more in the way of drier and brighter weather. And our temperatures a little higher, 15, perhaps 16 degrees Celsius. Both days at the moment are looking fairly breezy. And to the start of next week, we do still have that low pressure close by, so we will continue to see a few showers, a ridge of high pressure building in, settling things down a little bit midweek, and our temperatures will rise. Annabelle.
Thank you. It's good to know as well, if you have been getting in touch to say that your local cinemas do still serve ice cream in the intervals.
Oh, excellent.
Ulverston and Stockport Plaza.
Oh, can't beat the little tray coming round, can you?
It's lovely, isn't it? Whatever you're doing, whether you're going to the cinema or you're celebrating Eid, have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.